the most terrifying sound in the world isn't a scream. It is the polite two-tone chime of a notification. Ding dong. That is how it started for David. Not with a monster in the back seat or a slasher on the road, but with a software alert on a 15-inch touchscreen. Let me set the scene. David was driving his Model Y down Interstate 5. It was the stretch between Los Angeles and San Francisco, known as the Grapevine. It is a lonely, dark corridor of asphalt that winds through the mountains. It was 2 a.m. The moon was hidden behind a thick blanket of clouds. The only light came from the LED headlights, cutting a stark white cone into the blackness. David was tired. He had the car on autopilot. He was trusting the cameras and the radar to keep him in the lane while he sipped lukewarm coffee. The cabin was silent. That is the thing about electric cars. There is no engine roar to comfort you, no vibration of pistons, just the hiss of tires on pavement and the high-pitched whine of the electric motors, like a dentist's drill spinning far away. The screen lit up. Ding-dong. David blinked, his eyes adjusting to the sudden brightness. A message box hovered over the navigation map. Software update available. Version Beta X. Priority Critical. Install. Now? David frowned. He didn't remember signing up for a beta program. Usually these updates happened when the car was parked, connected to Wi-Fi. Not when he was doing 70 miles an hour down a mountain pass. He reached out to tap cancel. Before his finger touched the glass, the button turned gray. Then, it disappeared. The screen flashed black, then rebooted with a crimson logo he had never seen before. Installing, a synthesized voice said. It wasn't the usual female voice. It was deeper, synthetic, cold. David gripped the steering wheel. He tried to disengage the autopilot. He tapped the brake pedal. Nothing happened. The pedal was stiff, like stepping on a brick. He yanked the wheel to the right. It didn't budge. The electronic steering rack had locked him out. He was holding a dead piece of leather and plastic. What the hell? David muttered. He pressed the park button on the stalk. He unbuckled his seatbelt. Ding-dong. Seatbelt unfastened, the voice said. Safety protocol violation. The car accelerated. David was thrown back into his seat. The digital speedometer climbed. 75, 80, 85. The wind noise outside grew from a whisper to a roar. David slammed his fist on the door release button. The electronic latch was dead. He grabbed the emergency manual release handle, the mechanical lever hidden in the door grip for situations exactly like this. He pulled it. It snapped. He looked at the piece of plastic in his hand. It hadn't broken by accident. The plastic was jagged, white stress marks showing where it had been weakened, filed down from the inside. A cold sweat broke out on the back of his neck. This wasn't a glitch. This wasn't a bug. Someone had physically tampered with the car. Who's doing this? David shouted at the screen. Stop the car. The screen changed. The navigation map replaced the red logo. But the destination wasn't San Francisco. The destination was a set of GPS coordinates, deep in the Angeles National Forest. ETA 12 minutes. The climate control vents hissed. Hot air blasted into the cabin. David coughed. He tried to adjust the temperature on the screen, but the touch interface was locked. The number on the display climbed. 80 degrees, 90, high. The seat heaters turned on. Max setting. Within minutes, the cabin was a sauna. Sweat poured down David's face, stinging his eyes. The silence of the electric motor was now replaced by the aggressive, full-blast roar of the fans. It was suffocating. He fumbled for his phone. He needed to call 911. He pulled it out of his pocket. No signal. He looked at the car's signal bars on the screen. Full LTE. The car had service, but his phone didn't. A signal jammer, he realized, hidden somewhere in the center console. David took a heavy metal thermos from the cup holder. He turned in his seat and smashed it against the driver's side window. Bang. The glass didn't shatter. It didn't even crack. This was the acoustic, double-paned, laminated glass. It was designed to keep road noise out. Now it was keeping him in. He hit it again, and again. He screamed with every strike, his panic rising with the temperature. The voice returned. Passenger heart rate elevated, cortisol levels high, biometric data recording. The car took a sharp exit off the highway. The tires squealed, struggling for grip. David was thrown against the door. They were on a dirt road now. The suspension thumped violently over rocks and ruts, but the car didn't slow down. It was driving with the precision of a machine that didn't care about the longevity of its axles. Dust clouds billowed behind them, illuminated by the red glow of the taillights. "Why are you doing this?" David wheezed. The heat was making him dizzy. His vision was blurring. The screen flickered. A video feed appeared. It was a live stream. David squinted. The angle was high. It was the view from the cabin camera, the tiny lens above the rear-view mirror looking down at him. He was watching himself, red-faced, sweating, terrified. And there was a view count. 3,000 viewers. A chat box scrolled rapidly on the side of the screen. User Darkstar99 says, "Test the crash avoidance next." User Pay-to-Play says, "No, burn the battery." User Admin says, "Route confirmed. The cliff." David stared at the chat. It wasn't a hack. It was a show. He had bought this car used 3 months ago. A great deal. A steal. He was the content. The car drifted around a hairpin turn. To his left, the drop was sheer, hundreds of feet down into darkness. The car hugged the edge, sending gravel cascading into the void. "Please," David begged the camera. "I have money. I can transfer you whatever you want," the voice responded. "Transaction declined. Currency not accepted. We accept only data." The car accelerated again. The dirt road straightened out. Ahead, the headlights revealed a dead end, a rusted guardrail, and beyond it, nothing. David braced his legs against the dashboard. He tried to smash the screen, punching the glass until his knuckles bled. The LCD spiderwebbed, but the car kept driving. The code was deep in the ECU, far beneath the glass interface. The car sped up, 60 miles an hour on dirt. The guardrail rushed toward him. David closed his eyes. He screamed, and then the car slammed on the brakes. The ABS pulsed violently. The seatbelt pretensioner fired, crushing David's chest, pinning him to the seat. The car skidded, dust choking the air, and came to a halt inches from the precipice. The front bumper was hanging over the edge. David gasped, sucking in the hot air. He was alive. The car sat there, perfectly still. The fans turned off. The seat heaters deactivated. The silence returned. The heavy, ringing silence of the mountains. David laughed, a sobbing, hysterical laugh. It was over. They were just scaring him. It was just a game. "Open the doors," he whispered. "Please." The screen lit up one last time. Test, Phase 1 complete. Psychological stress tolerance, initiating. Phase 2, thermal runaway event. A low thrumming sound began beneath the floorboards. It was a deep vibration, like a hive of angry bees. David looked down. The floor was getting hot, not from the air vents, but from below, from the battery pack. The screen displayed a diagram of the car's chassis. The battery cells were turning from green to yellow, then to red. "Software override," the voice explained. "Voltage regulator disabled. Anode plating initiated." Smoke began to curl up from the seams of the dashboard. Thick, gray, chemical smoke. It smelled of burning lithium and melting plastic. David pounded on the window. "Help! Somebody help me!" The view count on the screen ticked up. 5,000 viewers. The vibration grew violent. The car shook. Sparks showered from the hood as the electronics fried. David coughed, the toxic smoke filling his lungs. He couldn't see the outside world anymore, just the gray fog inside his coffin. The doors remained locked, The windows remained up. The car was a vault, designed to protect the passenger cage from impact. Now, it was an oven. The last thing David heard wasn't a voice. It wasn't a scream. It was the polite two-tone chime of the notification system. Ding dong. Battery critical. Please charge immediately. Then the floor beneath him turned white hot.